Hey, hoping everyone is good, hoping everyone is well. I wanted to make this podcast episode as a reminder, something that I have been thinking about lately, but something that I also want to give to you because it has been nudging me in my spirit. And it's just simply a reminder that you are not responsible for their comfort, whoever they are. He, she, them, they, those. Now, baby, I don't want you to take it personally if someone shifts in their seat when you walk in with your full self. Their unease is not your burden to carry. It is the mirror of their own reflection showing them where they haven't even grown yet. And see, we spend too much of our lives apologizing for the shine that God gave us, and we dim our voices so someone else won't feel exposed in their own lack. We make ourselves small when it comes to our brilliance because someone squints when we come in with light. But my baby, their eyes were never your assignment. You were born to illuminate, not negotiate the wattage of your flame. And I want you to listen. Listen to me carefully. You are not responsible for the comfort level of those who still haven't confronted their own shadows. When you show up, you are the evidence that courage exists. When you speak, it is truth. And you are the reminder that being silent is a choice. I need you to speak up very loud and clear. When you love yourself openly, you are the disruption of their self-denial. And disruptions rarely feel like softness to them. But here's the teacher. I'm going to need you to stop unfolding yourself into shapes that don't even fit into the spirit that God gave you. Because doing that means that you want someone else to breathe steady. And that's not coming out of your kindness. It is what is considered captivity, maybe dressed as some form of compassion that you give. And you deserve better than that. So I'll say it. It is not your role to make others comfortable with your boundaries, your calling, your presence, or your story. You teach people how to treat you, but you are not obligated to babysit their reactions. Growth is never supposed to be a spectator sport. It is a personal practice. If they're uncomfortable, let them sit in their own ish, because that discomfort is their invitation for their own change, not for you to change anything about yourself. And might I add, we live in a culture that tells us to over-explain. That maybe sometimes we have to maybe soften our truth a little bit to trade being authentic for being likable. But I also want you to know that every time that you apologize on how you naturally show up, you hand someone the blueprint to dismantle your voice, your peace, the very existence that God gave you. And baby, none of those things are for sale. And the next time you feel guilt come in your chest because someone sighed or frowned or rolled their eyes in front of you, out of disgust, out of jealousy, out of enviness, I want you to ask yourself, is this really about me or about the mirror I just became for them? Because most times the reality is it's just a mirror. You didn't break them. You just revealed the crack in them. I want you to learn to pause as well. When someone projects their discomfort onto you, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. I want you to ask yourself, do I need to carry any of this? Or can I just sit that right there in front of them? Let them look at it. Let them view themselves for themselves, because your pause is really your power. Your pause is really your freedom. Your pause is where you stop being a sponge and you start being a stone. You are solid. You are grounded. You are unbothered by the wave that crashes against it. And I want you to reframe rejection. When someone can't receive you as you are, that's not your wound to your worth. It's a revelation of their limit. I'm going to say that again. Baby, that is not your wound to your worth. That is a revelation of their limit. See, rejection is not a red mark against your spirit. It is a compass that is pointing you elsewhere. Wherever you are fully embraced, that's where you are supposed to be planted. That's where you are supposed to be watered, and that's where you are supposed to grow. I'm going to need you to stop taking things personally. Your existence will always be too much for those who were never intended to hold you with care. But it will be just enough and more than enough for those who are waiting to exhale the moment that you walk in. I need you to keep showing up. Keep setting boundaries. Keep choosing honesty over trying to perform over people who just want to see you fail, who never want to see you at your true liberation, who never want to see you in your authenticity, who never want to see you in your light. Because at the end of the day, you are not responsible for making someone else feel comfortable. Because the truth is, people have already chosen their level of uncomfortableness, and it has nothing to do with you. So let them choose. And I'm going to need you to choose you every single time. I have a book. It is called Let Me Write This Gently, My Baby. It is part of some prayers. That's the first beginning, poems and stories. I took about 1.5 years to write this book. And let me tell you something. I'll be honest. I am somewhat of a perfectionist, kind of, crazy in the sorts. I have to have it as perfect as I possibly can because it was a first project for me. And at some point I said, baby, I got to stop and just release it. Now it is available on Amazon. And it's also available through my site, seasondialogue.com. But here's the kicker. Here's where I kind of stopped myself. Maybe I didn't even think, I didn't even think a thing. I'll explain. So when I wrote the book, I had trouble because Amazon kind of released the book earlier when they had errors. And so I had to scramble. I had a friend to tell me, hey, it's been released, and I was in shambles, baby. So they took the unedited version off of Amazon. And in the midst of that, they had to approve my second book that was the correct version. And in the space of that, I was trying to get books to order because I wanted to do pre-orders. But, when you order a book of books, they take a while. It takes about 2 weeks. And so I only ordered, what I figured was enough to do pre-order signed. Y'all blew my mind. Those 100 pre-order books, they sold out within 30 minutes. So then I ordered another 100 and added it on, and y'all sold it out. And then September 1st, so that people can get the book because they were being signed. And I was also adding the vocals to the last chapter. Those sold out as well. What I'm learning in this process, because again, I'm new, I don't know everything. This is my first diving into this book thing. I know that I wanted to be a self-published author. I didn't want to depend on the system. I wanted to see how I could handle all of this. Many people told me we'd rather buy from you than from Amazon. And so with that being said, and getting this feedback that I totally respect and love, I have ordered more books. And so today's date per this episode is September 16th. So by next week, let me look on this calendar, y'all. I'm sorry, I should have had this all together. So by the 20th, I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. I'm in the wrong month. Okay. All right, yes. So by the 23rd, I will have more books. So I'm telling you, September 23rd, go on my website and purchase Let Me Write This Gently, My Baby. I am handwriting messages for each of you who ordered the book. And I'm signing. And I am including audio of the last chapter, which is Storytime, My Baby. And just because I love y'all so much, I'm going to also let y'all hear one of the poems, the storytelling poems in the last chapter. I'll include it at the end. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much just for sharing space and energy with me. To every person that I have met doing poetry shows who have come to me and just showed me love, thank you if you are listening. For those of you who tap into the Patreon just on social media, you have no idea what that means to me. There is a forever ebb and flow in my personal life, but God is good, and He's keeping me abreast. And so I am thankful that people understand that life be lifing, and that even if God uses you as a vessel, it does not mean that you are not a part of the ins and outs of what life gives you. And so I'm thankful for the people who support me and also the people who pour back into me. And I need y'all to listen to this story. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Sunday's worst. That man looked too hard. Eyes like searchlights scanning what wasn't his to see. At least 20 years my senior, with a smile that split too wide and a handshake that always reached for more than palms. His greeting came drizzled like syrup, sweet but slick like something trying too hard to stick. I withdrew every time he reached, not just my hand but my spirit, because something about his presence felt performative, like he rehearsed every God bless you in a mirror before service. Dressed in his Sunday's best, but walking proof that best dress can still mean worse intentioned. He wasn't Sunday's blessing, he was Sunday's burden. He hollered into microphones with veins popping like confessions trying to escape his throat. Recalled scriptures with precision, dissected the word with fervor, but his actions played out like a blooper of hypocrisy. A pulpit hustler, fluent in manipulation, sharp with a tongue that could split verses and skirts in the same breath. He danced in circles, literally and spiritually, slinging oil and illusion, hoping that theatrics would distract from the demons he never cast out because he kept them fed. His sermons were performances, a Broadway preacher throwing his holy weight around while hiding behind amen like it could cover up every indiscretion he wouldn't name. He liked his women young, barely legal, soft in the face and unsure in the faith, the kind who still wore innocence on their sleeves, not yet savvy enough to question holy men with unholy hands. They smiled in his face, Bibles in their right hands, tithes in their left, not knowing the man behind the cloth was measuring their curves in the name of counseling. He had secret meetups and after-service conversations that always ended in, "Don't tell nobody." But God was always listening. He just let that man stack his sins like dominoes. I kept my distance, but I watched. My spiritual eyes saw what my silence covered. I didn't entertain his conversations too long. His compliments always felt like bait, and I refused to be the fish in his bowl of temptation. But some weren't as discerning. Some got caught in his net until one day one brave voice opened the silence, and then another, until the whispers became a wall of truth too loud to ignore. The church split. The choir stopped mid-tone, and his seat on the pulpit turned cold. But here's the twist. When they stripped him of title and robe, when the truth stood naked before the congregation, guess who walked out with him? His wife, the first lady, the one who never missed a Sunday, the one who gave the loudest amens, the one who taught purity classes to the same girls he preyed on. She didn't leave him, she led him because she was the one who taught him how to hunt. And sometimes the real danger isn't in the devil we rebuke, but the pulpit we protect.